If you're a tenant chomping at the bit to buy a house someday, you need to prepare months in advance, and that's not just to get approved, that's to get the best financing terms. So in this episode from American Landlord, we're going to reveal the 4 essential steps that need to be taken by tenants many months before submitting a mortgage application. This video is brought to you by USHomeValue.com, where home buyers and real estate investors can find out the value of almost any home in the United States. Okay, let's get right to it. Buying a house is a piece of cake, as long as you're prepared. So in this short episode, we are assuming that you have at least 2 accounts on your credit file, like a credit card, perhaps maybe even a car loan, and that you've been employed for at least 2 years or will have been employed for 2 years by the time you actually submit your application for a mortgage. If not, well then please come back and watch this later once you get that initial stuff out of the way. So the next 4 steps will help ensure a smooth home buying experience and will also address and prevent the most common hiccups that can derail the home buying experience. Step 1. 12 months of housing payments. Conventional mortgage loans require applicants to document their rental payment history. So be sure to never pay a landlord, especially private landlords, in cash and never pay late. Lenders will generally accept one of 2 forms of verification, either your bank records, such as statements or canceled checks, or they'll permit the use of a verification of rent form from a property management business. Mortgage lenders will not allow this form to be used by a private individual. Step 2. A 3% down payment. Be prepared to have a down payment equivalent to a minimum of 3% of the purchase price of the property you're interested in. Fortunately, this can be gifted to you, so it doesn't need to fulfill the seasoning requirement that we'll discuss in a moment. It just needs to be sourced from a U.S. financial institution. Step 3. 2 months of mortgage payments. At least 3 months before you submit your mortgage application, you must have the equivalent of 2 months' worth of the proposed future mortgage payments sitting in a bank or other qualified financial institution, and this includes the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And don't think for a second you can just deposit money into an account at the last minute to satisfy this requirement, because cash reserves need to be seasoned for at least 2 months. That means your average daily collected balance must meet or exceed 2 months' worth of future mortgage payments in that account. And finally, step 4, pay down credit cards. Again, at least 3 months before you submit your mortgage application, and without dipping below your required mortgage payment cash reserves we just went over, it's important to take whatever other available cash that you have and use that to pay down as much of your credit card debt as you possibly can afford. Ideally, you want to start with the lowest credit card balance and pay that off before applying your funds to the next lowest balance. The goal here is to free up as much of your revolving credit limits as you can. So be sure to never close an account, always keep it open, but try to keep it paid off or at least keep the balance as low as possible. This way, your credit score will jump right before you apply for a mortgage, and this may very well save you a lot of money, even on a monthly basis, by putting you into a higher tier to get a better rate. But once again, we want to stress, this has to be done 3 months before. Do not waste your cash trying to pay down credit cards a month or weeks before, because your credit file will not be updated in time to reflect the higher credit score. If you have any questions about being a tenant or landlord, or would like to support our free resources for others, please visit AmericanLandlord.com.